friends, and welcome to my channel. Today I am super excited because I am bringing you a collab that I am hosting with my friend Sandra from the Schwann's Nest, and we have invited a whole bunch of very talented ladies to join us, and the purpose of this DIY collab was to repurpose an existing DIY that we had made a while ago, a couple of years ago, last week, it doesn't really matter, but we no longer want, need, or use. That way we didn't have to go out shopping for new materials. We just reused the ones that we've had at home. So you could just use like repurpose the whole DIY, or you can take it apart and create something new out of it and add some stuff to it. It was totally up to you. The whole point was just taking something that we had made and making something else out of it. So make sure you check out the playlist. I will have everyone's videos linked down in the playlist, so there's going to be tons of inspirations for you to check out. And I would like to thank everybody who joined me on this collab. I'm so grateful that you have decided to join me. So we are going to get started now. So I am going to be using these two palettes, or I think that's what they're called, and I obviously had one made last year for the summer, and I have decided I will not be using it. And then I made this one for Easter, but I never ended up using it this year, so I figured I will repurpose them into something that I will use. Now, I have something that I wanted to put on here, which is this truck. I had purchased this a while back, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I was going to use it for different stuff by removing these, maybe for Christmas or even for fall, but I've decided I will actually just use it for the summer. But it doesn't quite fit on one of them, and I figured putting two of them together, it's too much. So I have decided that I'm going to actually cut one of these and add the cut sides to the sides. I think I only need probably one on each side will be enough. And then I also have a stencil that I will use to go with this, and I will paint this with some white chalk paint, just paint it over. So I'm going to go and cut one of these down, and I will be right back. So here they are. I cut two of them off, and I still have the three pieces left together, so I can save that for a different project. And I'm just going to take this off, make sure all the glue is off too, so that way when it's time to paint I don't have to be taking that off. And I'm going to attach this here. I just have to sand it a little bit, and then one for this side. And just if you are ever cutting this and want to add to it like I am, make sure you leave the lip and cut it here, so you have a lip on each side, so that way it ends up looking the same. Because if you cut it this way, then it'll just be flushed and it's not gonna look the same. This way it kind of matches up. I just have to sand some of this down so it's a little smoother for the glue. I'm going to add wood glue, and I'm just using the LePage. And you don't want to be heavy on the glue because you don't want it to leak everywhere, but you want to make sure you add enough. Just make sure you're aligned perfectly. So I'm going to let this dry completely before I paint it. So this had time to glue to dry, So now I'm going to paint it with some chalk paint. I am using the chalk by Rust-Oleum in linen white, and I'm just about at the end of it. Had to add some water because it was a little bit dry. So to get into these, I'm just using a different paintbrush. And I will most likely have to go over the hello one more time, whereas I think everywhere else I should be okay with just one coat. So I'm gonna let that dry and then see how it looks when it's dry. So while my boards are drying, I'm just going to get this ready. I am hoping that I can cut this off. So I had actually used a jigsaw to cut it off. I was gonna use a grinder, but I was afraid I was gonna burn my face. So I just used a jigsaw to cut it off. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of yellow paint on the sunflowers, just to make it look a little bit brighter. So you can see I kind of almost like dry brushed it. I just think it added a little bit more summery look to the whole truck. So now I'm going to use a stencil to stencil some stuff out, but first I kind of have to map out where everything's going to go. So here's the board, and here is the car. Just not quite sure. I want to use the stencil, but I'm not sure where to put it. So I think I had figured out I just had to bend one of these a little bit over just so it fits. I'm going to hot glue them, and then I'm gonna fit these in. I just have to kind of play around with the stencil because of the little cuts. And then the bottom I'm gonna put the seed stems and blooms. So I'm just preheating my wood glue, my hot glue, and I'm going to glue this down. And for the paint, I think I'm going to mix black with a little touch of some chalk paint, just to lighten it up a little bit. I don't want it to be black, but I don't want it to be too gray either. I think that's about good. Start right here, and I'm using my stenciling brush from the dollar store. And now I'm going to just move it over a little bit just so I can fit the S in here. And I'm gonna just touch it up with the paint after, and then I'm going to just want to see the height, just move it over. So that's that, and then I'm just gonna wipe the back of the And now for the market, I'm going to start, about here, maybe a little bit lower. There we go. I'm just gonna take a pencil and just mark it off right here so I know where to put, how far to put the stencil so they're even. Okay, I think that looks good. I was just a little bit worried about that one, and I think I'm going to fill it in a little bit more, just right here. Like that. I think that's good. And now for the little mishaps, I'll just touch it up with some white paint. I think that's good. And now I'm going to put the rest of the stencil down here. Just gonna clean the back of it so it doesn't leave any marks. And I'm going to do seeds. I think that's pretty good. Just gonna do again a bit of cleanup. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I really like the way that turned out, and I will show you how it looks in my decor. So here it is. I think it turned out really nice. I love how the truck makes it look a little bit like has a depth and dimension. So thank you for joining me, and I would like to just remind you to check out the playlist, and I would like to thank all the girls for participating in this collab with me, and the playlist is linked down below. And if this is your first time stopping by, let me know whose channel you're coming over from and down in the comments, and I hope you decide to press that subscribe button and stick around so you can see all my other upcoming DIYs. So until next time, thank you all so much for watching. See ya in my next video.